Selector Position 1-2 Diagnostics begins by observing the system and seeing which components does not function correctly in the component sequence of operations. The call for heat is not initiated. The fault status indicates a limit circuit lockout. The CPU logic prevents any functionality with the system lockout. A lockout is reset by cycling the power to the furnace. After the power cycle, the fault status changes to a limit circuit fault with an energized blower. The component sequence of operation cannot begin without a call for heat. Systematically, approach the diagnostics and follow the diagnostic process. The diagnostic process does not fail. The technician fails to follow the process. Here's a recommended diagnostic process. Always reference the schematic diagram for electrical troubleshooting. Determine where the component sequence of operation failed. Locate component on schematic. Trace component back to the power source. Electrically determine the possibilities. Determine root cause of failure with electrical meter. Begin the diagnostic process with the sequence that did not initiate. Since the call for heat did not initiate, measure potential difference from R to C. Measuring zero potential difference confirms no voltage at R. Trace the voltage back to its power source. The power source is functioning correctly with 26 volts of potential difference. The limit string is open with 26 volts of potential difference across the PL1-6 and PL1-8. Begin measuring potential difference across each component in the limit string. The component preventing the voltage to flow to R is an open F, R-S2. The fault sequence of operation will vary between manufacturers. The fault sequence of operation for the simulator is as follows. The function of the CPU is to determine the outputs based on the inputs. The CPU receives an input from PL1-6, which branches off to the BLWR. However, it does not receive an input from PL1-8. This missing input from PL1-8 tells the CPU the limit string is open, then the CPU sends an output to the fault LED, and also sends an output to close BLWR. After a programmed time in the CPU, the output is removed from the BLWR and the output to LED changes to a lockout. Go to the lab and unplug a wire to a rollout switch on a furnace. Apply the diagnostic process. The process begins with the schematic. How does the lab furnace schematic differ from the schematic of the simulator? Document the discrepancies between the fault sequence of operation. Note that each manufacturer will have a different electrical sequence of operation and how the system responds to a fault. Remember, the diagnostic process does not fail. The technician fails to follow the process.